בזמירות נריע לו, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נריע לצור אישנו. לכו נרננה לאדוני, נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. כי גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, כי גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, כי גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל אלוהים, כי גדול אדוני ומלך גדול על כל בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו.
Page 131, Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Then the fields and everything in them exult. Then shall all the trees of the forest shout for joy at the presence of the Eternal One. For God is coming. Page 131.
Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla. Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla. Az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar. Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla. Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla. Az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar, az yiranenu kol hatzei ya'ar. Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla. Ya'alot Sadai, V'chol asher bo. Ya'alot Sadai, Hayar l'layla.
And so as we move through these songs of welcome, these songs of Shabbat, and as I encourage you to turn forward to page 134, I want to take a particular moment to welcome back to our Bimmer in full voice, our Chazan. It is so lovely, Michelle, to have you leading us in song again. That you're feeling well is a true blessing to our community. Let's continue to bring on Shabbat together.
Page 134. Hariu l'Adonai kol haaretz. It's chuv and anenuv v'zameru. Raise a shout to God, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. Page 134.
L'Adonai kol haaretz, l'Adonai kol haaretz, v'yitzchu, ranenu v'zameru, ranenu v'zameru, ranenu v'zameru. Zamru l'Adonai bechinot, bechinot, בכל זמרה, זמרו לאדוני בחינות,
בכל זמרה.
יא אליי, 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 יא l'Adonai kol haaretz, l'Adonai kol haaretz, l'Adonai kol haaretz, v'yitzchu, ranenu v'zameru, ranenu v'zameru, ranenu v'zameru. בחינות, בחינות, בכל זמרה, זמרו לאדוני בחינות,
בכל זמרה.
יא אליי, 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 יא אליי, 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 יא אליי, 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 יא אליי, 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 יא
And so it's from those songs of Shabbat, those psalms of Shabbat, that I want to reiterate my welcome to each and every one of you who are able to be here in our sanctuary, as well as acknowledge those who are joining us through the live streaming of our services. It is a wonderful celebration. Somehow this release from this lockdown 5.0 has felt more liberating than the ones before, or maybe just the wonderful nature of the human character, as I don't remember how frustrated I was prior to being as frustrated as I was. But either way, it is lovely to have so many of you in Shul and to have so many of you joining with us. I particularly want to welcome our bar mitzvah for tomorrow afternoon. Jeremy, it's lovely to see you in Shul. I want to acknowledge that for those who can't see at home, our shul is filled with upcoming B'nai Mitzvah students who are just beginning with their families, just beginning their B'nai Mitzvah journey. Unfortunately, during lockdown, we had to have our B'nai Mitzvah orientation online and weren't able to physically give our students their Siddur and give them an opportunity to meet each other. So we just gathered in Sloan Hall and took the opportunity to do that. And it's lovely to have all of you in services. And a little later in services, we'll have an opportunity to recognize and celebrate the commencement of this journey for you. And also, with very big eyes looking directly at me, we have a very special guest who's in Shul for the first time. Her naming has been delayed a couple of times by a small thing called a global pandemic, and we're so so excited to have her in shul with her parents, and we'll be welcoming her in just a few moments. But before then, let's do what our people have always done by welcoming Shabbat with perhaps one of our most favorite songs and psalms, the words of Lecha Dodi, found on page 138, 138 in the Siddur, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ונתירה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. לקראת שבת, לכו בנכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בהורה קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי. היד איש ותפרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת, לקבלה.
Rise and face the door to welcome Shabbat.
בואי בשלום, עטרת ברק, גם בשמחה ובצורה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, Lecha
So my friends, ordinarily I'd invite you to remain standing as we get ready to kindle the lights of Shabbat, but we're going to linger on that a little longer today. So those in the sanctuary who are standing, I invite you to be seated, as we recognize that we're going to be doing candle lighting a little bit differently, as we celebrate a family coming together to welcome a new life and its newest member. And so we are going to invite our guest of honor up onto the bimmer in a few moments with her parents and her grandparents for a blessing and a naming and a very intentional candle lighting. But we welcome with her with this beautiful melody and these words of tradition that say, "Blessed is this child who we welcome in the name of God. Blessed is this child who comes here into this place of God."
ברוכה הבאה בשם אדוני, ברכנוכך מבית אדוני. ברוכה הבאה בשם אדוני, ברכנוכך מבית אדוני.
And so our guest of honor is waving to say hi to all of you, her family, her friends, and her new community. She didn't know she had so many fans. And I'm intentionally referring to her as our guest of honor because we'll formally be giving her name in community, at least in a few moments' time. But these are her parents, Anita and Michael. They can wave too. And in keeping with Jewish tradition, Anita and Michael have chosen to welcome their daughter into family and into community through the candle lighting, a different type of candle lighting, a ner neshama, or a soul candle, which marks the entry of a child into the covenant. These candles, these 3 sets of candles which sit in front of us, or stand in front of us, represent the new light that has entered your home, the new light that has entered this world with the birth of this new soul. We gather to remember the covenant forever, a covenant commanded to 1,000 generations. Baruch atah Adonai koret habrit. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who has established the covenant and commanded us to welcome our children into it. But this young lady is not on the bimah solely with her parents. 2 of her grandparents are here too, Neil and Rosemary. It's lovely to have you up on the bimah. And so I'm going to invite you, if you feel comfortable, to please take off your masks. I will kindle this light for you and invite you to offer the reading that you have chosen together as a family to begin this candle lighting.
Blessed are
You, Adonai, Rosemary.
Blessed are you, source of all life, for the light you have brought into our lives. May this child come to know you and study your ways, bringing honour to those that have come before her. May our granddaughter be blessed always with your divine presence, so that she can reflect divine light wherever she goes.
And as you offer that blessing, I want to pass you this candle and invite you to light this first set of candlesticks which you have brought from your home and recognize the Shoshelet Kabbalah, the chain of tradition, which is being passed on to this young soul. Thank you. And then as we look at one set of candles burning before us, we recognize that the celebration is just beginning. As we turn now to this young lady's parents to offer our next reading. Neil, you might want to hand the microphone to your daughter.
There is a new light in our hearts and in our home. These candles celebrate the birth of our child. Out of the creative darkness of the womb she has come. These candles celebrate her emergence into light. Child of light, you know not yet the love and joy overflowing from our hearts.
And so I invite you to pick up that taper, to take the light from your parents' candles and to kindle them on the candles that you've brought from your home. And then with that candle still burning in your hand, I invite you to continue with our third reading.
As we light these Shabbat candles in honour of this new life, we hope that just as these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Lighting this third set of candles, our Shabbat candles, on behalf of your daughter, a mitzvah on her behalf, a mitzvah that we pray that you will share together as you offer the blessing for candle lighting.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'halek nesh of Shabbat.
Amen. We wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. But before continuing with our naming, we want to recognize the first occasion of this and offer the words of Shechianu for you on this occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu v'kiyamanu v'hiyanu lazman hazeh. And so, we now turn to the ritual and rite of naming. I have referred to your daughter as our guest of honor, but you have chosen some beautiful names for her. And it is my privilege on this bimmer, in front of this community, in front of your family and friends at this moment of meaning to share them. Eloheinu v'Elahei Avotenu v'Imotenu, our God and God of our mothers and fathers. Kayam et yalda hazot, la'aviu lima. Sustain this child through a parent's loving care. V'yikra shma b'Yisrael, Adira, Vered, Bat Chana Ruth. May she be known amongst the people of Israel as Adira, Vered, Matilda Rose Woods. Let her name be known among the people of Israel. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul as they have brought her into the covenant today with wisdom and with understanding and with patience. So may they lead her to a study of Torah, to a blessing of family, and to a practice of good deeds. And to that we say, Amen. And so before we join together in offering a final blessing for her, perhaps a word or two about these choices of names, because I know we had a lovely opportunity to discuss them. Both the English names that you've given her and why the Hebrew names that you've chosen to go along to them.
So we chose the name Matilda because it was Matilda means strong, I believe. I was told, and we thought that the last 18 months has been very challenging, and she has been a wonderful sense of strength and COVID safe procedures for us. So
Yeah, so that's why we chose Matilda. We chose Rose after my mum, Rosemary, so to honour her. And the Hebrew name was a reflection of those two. So Adira is a name for strong, a Hebrew name for strong, and Vered is rose in Hebrew.
So Matilda Rose, Adira Vered, we hope that you have the blessing of growing into the crown of a good name, because as it says on the bottom of what I imagine is one of the first certificates you are about to receive, it says that the crown of a good name is the highest crown of them all, and we hope that that is truly what happens and comes for you. I've invited Idor to sneak over closer. I need to keep an appropriate 20-21 distance between the two of us. But with Idor's help and with your blessing, I'd like to invite the two of you to place your hands upon your daughter's head. I'm going to invite your parents to come forward. You can step closer to them, and to place their hands upon your heads.
We'll go forward.
Because this is Birkat Mishpacha, the blessing of family and the celebration of the continuity of family.
Yevarechecha
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha vichuneka.
May the brightness of our tradition shine down upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai, Yisa Adonai, panav elecha, ve'yasem lecha, ve'yasem lecha, ve'yasem lecha shalom,
And Matilda, wherever it is that you go from this day, may you always feel the love and support of the parents that stand behind you, the grandparents that stand behind them, all the family and friends that have come together to share in this day. And may you always feel the spirit of peace and love that you experience now. And to that we say, Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. And as is our people's way, we also toast this moment with Kiddush, as we say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. I'm going to invite you to put your hand into that. Ooh. Ooh. Maybe your father can post your finger into that. No, maybe just you.
Maybe I'll do it for you.
Yeah, and then add into her mouth. And just a taste of the sweetness of the moment. Everything was great until then. The other thing that makes us... Sorry. It'll grow on you, I promise it does. The other thing that reminds us that you are a child of this age is you are most at peace looking at yourself and your grandparents on a screen. Because that's what we've done far too much of. A certificate for you, I give it to your parents. I wish all of you Mazel Tov. As I invite everyone to join us as we move forward in our service and turn to the words of Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, a psalm song for this Shabbat day.
Thank you. Page 140, 140, Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
והגיד בבוקר חסדיך, ואמונתך בלילות, עליה שוב עלינה, וקרא היגיון בחינות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך הנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש ברע לא ידע, וכזיר לא יבין עצות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק אתה מה יפרח, ארץ בלבנון, בלבנון יזכה, שטוב באמת אדונך.
page 142, the angels accompany us with the words of Shalom Aleichem. Page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Moachem leShalom, Malachi Ashalom, Malachi
We rise on page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש ברבה.
Amen.
בהמה תברחירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייתך בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו לעם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. You'll find us on page 148. 148. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv arabim, בחוכמה פותח שערים ובתבונם משנה עיתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם, ברקיע כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור. הוא מעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אתה. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשופנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום הלבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני למשה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו הציצית הכנף בתרצי חרת, והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On page 156, if you'll join with me at the bottom of the page, all this we hold to be true and trustworthy for us. You alone are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You are our sovereign and Savior, who delivers us from oppressors' hands and saves us from tyrants' fists. You work wonders without number, marvels beyond count. You give us life and steady our footsteps. You performed miracles for us before Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of the Egyptians. You led your people Israel out from their midst to freedom for all time. When your children witnessed your dominance, they praised your name in gratitude, and they accepted your sovereignty. Moses, Miriam, and all of Israel sang to you together, lifting their voices joyously and singing this song.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא.
מעל איכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זהי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ים בם בם בים בידי בם, ים בם בם בים בם, ים בם בם בים בידי בם, ים בם בם בים בם, יאי יאי ליי ליי ליי, ים בם בם בים בם, יאי ליי 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 ליי, ים בם בם בים בם.
ונאמר כבר אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל. Page 160. השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לשלום, לשלום.
השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום.
ועמידנו מגנו לחיים ולשלום ולשלום.
השכיבנו,
השכיבנו,
אדוני
אלוהינו לשלום, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו,
השכיבנו,
אדוני אלוהינו
לשלום.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Eternal One, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts, eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. השכיבנו, השכיבנו,
אדוני
אלוהינו
לשלום.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Eternal One. The shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 162. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. This is our covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
בני ובן בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם
rise on page 164 for the Amidah, the standing prayer, the core of our service, and we take a moment to share together the first three of the benedictions and then continue with the words of our hearts, the words of our prayer books in silence. Feel free to be seated when you've concluded your personal prayer and meditation. We are on page 164. 164.
Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi yagid tehiratecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, וחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב רוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיים מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני אפה. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומטוב מלך. מלך ממיתו חיי, ומשמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imnu amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu
שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom. As Rabbi Gersh mentioned at the beginning of services, we're joined in the sanctuary by our new B'nai Mitzvah cohort who began their journey a week or so ago online in a format that we weren't expecting, although prepared for, because that's the world in which we live. And ordinarily, our orientation takes place on a Thursday evening where we welcome our families into the synagogue, share with them about the journey, talk about them as individuals, supported by their family, their friends, our tutors, board, wider community, and the even wider community. And tonight, as we have the second part of our orientation and we can connect it with a Shabbat service, we have community with us, which is an extra lovely component that we can have as we begin the journey with them for this cohort. A few minutes before the service, we gave all of our students their Siddurim, their prayer books, which they have now decorated and made them their own as a way of really feeling connected to what it is that they're going to go through over the next 10 to 18 months. They've been B'nai Mitzvah mostly in the second half of next year, some a little bit earlier. And we said that we would join together in this service to offer them all a blessing as they begin the journey. Some of you have seen in the past with previous cohorts at the end of the Bina program, the group education component, that they participate in the leading of the service and we offer a blessing on that day. And again, it is a double blessing that we can offer them that blessing this evening as they really begin that journey. And then we look forward to seeing them lead the service in about 12 months from now. So with Rabbi Gersh and Cantor Michelle's help, I'm going to ask all of our B'nai Mitzvah families who are in the sanctuary, those who are watching online, to stand up. Parents have a talit, which they're going to hold over the heads of themselves and their family. And we will offer for a second time this evening the family blessing, the Birkat HaKohanim.
So earlier you saw us invite Anita and Michael to place their heads upon their children's heads and offer this blessing, a blessing as old as our people itself, first offered by Aaron to his sons, and then from the priest to people, and in more recent generations from parents to children. Tonight we've asked your family to gather around you, to put you under the comforting embrace of the talit with the tzitzit on the end, the demonstration of the mitzvot, the demonstrator of the mitzvot. And in this presence and in this comfort, we offer this blessing for each and every one of you too, as you formally commence your journey towards Torah and towards B'nai Mitzvah.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה.
May the brightness of our tradition shine down upon you and be gracious to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך shalom.
And my friends, wherever it is that this journey takes you, wherever it is that this journey leads you, may it continue to be a place of blessing, a place of meaning, but most of all, a place of peace. And to that we say, Ken Yehi Ratzon, as we wish you Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.
Mazel tov, Simon tov, Simon tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov, Simon tov, Mazel tov, Mazel tov, Simon tov. Yelanu, Yelanu, oh, bechol Yisrael. Yelanu, Yelanu, oh, bechol Yisrael. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam.
A lot to celebrate in Shul this evening, and as we do that, we begin to draw our evening service to a close as we turn our hearts and our minds to tomorrow, to our Shabbat morning service and then our Shabbat mincha service. And in that spirit, I'd like to invite Jeremy up onto the bima to open the curtain for Aleinu. Surprise, I didn't tell you I was doing that, but to come on up onto the bima to open the curtain for Aleinu and invite the congregation to rise as we turn to page 586. 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדונה כל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, בגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומועלים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה מלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We remain standing for a few more moments now as we turn our thoughts to those who are no longer with us, and turn to page 598 as we ready ourselves to offer the words of Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. We think about those whose lives have been a blessing to us, who have helped us become the people we are, as well as the people we are becoming, who we have loved and who we have lost. We think first this week in the Shabbat of Jill Stone, who was laid to rest by her family just a few days ago and whose Shiva we are still observing. And with her extended family, we also think of the families of Jennifer Bierman, of Inga Breitler, of Maddie Einfeld, of Ruth Finkelstein, of Judith Montag, of Alexandra Opesinska, of Hannah Popilek, Murray Trigg, Arik Watsky, and Elizabeth Wolfe. All whose Shloshim, the first 30 days since their passing, we are still remembering this Shabbat. And with those names and those of recent passing, we also think about those who we lost at this season in years gone by. We think of those families in our community who have kindled this week the light of remembrance. And we hope that that flame brought them warmth and comfort as they remembered the blessings of those who they too have loved and lost. We think of all of them, of Alfred Bourne, David Cameron, Abraham Chapman, Holman John Charles Chalkman, Romy Sabina Dory, Bernice Emmanuel, Frank Firestone, Harry Goodman, Lois Grigg, Danny Hamilton, Pamela Hyatt, Rania Ingersoll, Sidney Kaufman, Ernest Kahn, Gertie Langer, Walter Lippmann, Alfred Lowy, Harold Isaac Michael, Miriam Mashinsky, Theo Moss, Henry Nathan, Patricia Peck, Hanka Pilovsky, Jaime Rockman, Emily Rogers, Sol Sandler, Nathan Siegel, Sonia Smith, Frank Spurnett, and Edward Vogel. To these names, I invite you to add the names of those you are remembering as my eyes meet yours. If you have other names you'd like to add to this list of remembrance. We think of those named as well as those whose names lie deep within our hearts as we offer the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabba, ba'amad divrach Yerutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'mechon v'chedechol Beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru, Yehei Shemei Rabba v'varach l'olam ha'ameh, Yiparach v'ishtabah v'pa'ah v'troman v'tnaseh, v'tada v'talei v'talal Shemei l'kodisha b'derech, na'elam min kol brichata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran ba'alma v'imru, Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the heavens bring peace to all of us, but particularly peace and blessing to those who we remember, and to that we say, Amen. As you are seated in the sanctuary, I invite our President to come up and make a few announcements on behalf of the Board of Governance.
Thank you, Rabbi Lazaro. Shabbat Shalom. How wonderful to be in the sanctuary for services and for joining us if you are joining us virtually. How amazing to think back BCE, before COVID erupted, how far we have come as a community in the ways that we connect and participate, and it's become quite natural that we do so. Thank you to Cantor Lalum and welcome back. And also to Sharon and Ido for a beautiful, uplifting start to Shabbat. If you are joining us in time of memory, I hope you have found comfort in our services. Mazel Tov on the baby naming of Matilda. May she bring you much joy, to you and to your family as well as you watch her grow. And a warm welcome to the newest Bina cohort. May we all journey well together. Tomorrow, please join us online for Parsha Hashuvah, and then Shakrit at 10 a.m. to celebrate with Helen Shardy and her family on her recent Queen's Birthday honour. And in the afternoon, please join us at 4 p.m. for Mincha. Please join us online, I should say. The invites have already been sent as Jeremy Samuel becomes a bar mitzvah. And we wish Jeremy's family, Warren, Joe, Hugo, Raphael, a hearty mazel tov. At TBI, we have wonderful volunteers who make care calls to our members. And I encourage all of us to think of someone to ring in the coming week. If every one of us made just one call to check in on a neighbour or friend, how much better would we be connected as a community? I don't think we should ever underestimate that friendly voice on the other end of the phone. And with that, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And so as we conclude, we will have Kiddush and Motzi, for which we will need, come on down. You'll need to grab that cup. You'll be glad to know you don't have to sing the whole of the Kiddush. Just say the Motzi. Grab that cup and hold that. We are on page 123 for those of you who wish to join us. Do you want to say the first line of the Kiddush?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagalfen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagalfen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצוונו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני
ברוך שמו.
מקדש השבת
L'chaim tovim. We apologize and acknowledge that we can't offer you all wine or grape juice this evening because in order to do that we'd have to invite you to sit at a table. But Kiddush tomorrow will take place at tables so that we can break bread and sing motzi together. You have to put down one of those things and lift up the
You
challah.
can take a sip of the wine or it's grape juice. There you go. And then pick up the challah.
And again, in the age of COVID, our bar mitzvah gets to make motzi, and then as his gift for his bar mitzvah, because he touched the challah, he gets to take it home with him too.
Gets to keep it. There's challah toast, French toast for tomorrow morning.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Take a piece if you need it.
Pinch me, so.
הנה מתוק ומנעים שברכים גם יחד. הנה מתוק ומנעים שברכים גם יחד. הנה מתוק ומנעים שברכים גם יחד. הנה מתוק ומנעים שברכים גם יחד.
How good it is,
How good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is to